Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome back. I'm going to be getting this motor ready to start up here so we can sync the carbs on it. Trying out a new device here, a new toy. The engine start kit that I bought. It's a bracket that mounts up here to hold your starter. You have to remove the pressure plate and clutch for clearance. Got all that mounted on there. It's got a run box with an oil light and a gen light, start button. First thing I got to do here is adjust this linkage going to these carbs. You can see that one right there. Those should be straight up and down. That's not straight up and down. Okay. It's not too bad from this angle. That one's not too bad from this angle. This one's kicked in just a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be enough to worry about. I may try to adjust it out. But that's where we got to start at. Gonna put y'all on a stand so you can watch. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Alright, so what I got to do is I got to take this piece and I got to shorten it. You know what? Maybe I might be able to just leave that completely off. That looks pretty good right there without it. Don't look too bad, does it? Yep, I think we'll just eliminate that piece that was sticking out of there. Tighten it back up. Oh, that's a bigger size. The new shop heater I just installed is working good. I had to go back in and reverse a couple of wires on the igniter. It was staying on all the time. That's what all that racket was. That most annoying sound in the world. But it's working better now. It's kicking on right now. I don't know if y'all can hear it. But the igniter comes on, it stays on for about 5-10 seconds and then it quits. There. Okay. Y'all look at that. Since y'all couldn't see me working on it. See, that's straight up and down. That's what you want on your linkage. You want it everything symmetrical. All right. The other side may be a little trickier because it needs to be a little bit longer, I think. That one. Looks to me like it kicks in just a little bit, not much. I don't know. I'll play with it here and see what I can do. And we'll come back in a minute. Okay, those are both pretty close to straight up and down. That side. That side. That one right there may be angled in just a hair. And that side there may be angled in just a hair, but I'm going to leave them right there because they're both pretty close to the same. And I think that's going to be fine. The next thing we got to do is loosen off this idle screw right here on both sides to where they're not touching. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get in there. Alright, that's backed off just to where she's just barely touching right there. Don't want it pushing on it, but you want it touching. Sorry. I wasn't holding the camera right, I was looking instead of letting y'all look. Okay, and we do the same thing on this one. Right there. Those are both just barely touching. Now when we push the lever, they're both engaging at the same time. Alright. Now our linkage is set up right. Everything's symmetrical. Both carburetors will open at the same time. And now I'm going to continue to hook up the wiring. I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, we're back. Let me show you how I got this thing wired up. Got a battery here to the side. Alright. Over here on the back of the starter, we'll start there. You got a wire that comes off the ignition switch, or the remote ignition switch that connects to the solenoid, and it's marked solenoid. Okay, then you have to have a wire, a battery cable, or in this instance a jumper cable connected to the main power on the solenoid to the battery. Okay, moving up here, we've got one wire going to the oil sending unit. That one's marked oil. And the one wire that's marked ignition going to the positive side of your coil. I've got a positive and a negative wire going to the distributor. This has got Petronix ignition in it. I got, let's see, this motor has an alternator, so you've got one wire that connects to the D plus on the back of the alternator. If a generator, you have to go through your regulators. It's a little bit different setup, but the instructions come with the kit. It tells you how to wire everything up, whether you got an alternator or a generator. And I think that's everything. So if you connect this wire to the ground, come back up here to the switch, you see we got oil, ignition, generator, off, run, start. Okay, next step is we have to have fuel, right? Then you're going to start without fuel. This motor which is a late model bus motor. Fuel pump should be right down there. It does not have a mechanical fuel pump, so I've got to rig up an electric fuel pump so I can get fuel to these carburetors. Get that done, everything should be good to go. Go ahead and disconnect this for now, and I get that. I should have an electric fuel pump around here somewhere. I'll get one hooked up and we'll be back. So hold on for a minute. Thank you. Alright guys, where did we leave off? It's been about a week since I've been down here in the shop. You know, real life shit going on. Had doctor's appointments, had to go have a colonoscopy. And I don't know if any of y'all ever had that done, but it's a lot of fun, let me tell you. Not really. But enough about that. Down here in the shop today, tinkering with this old motor again. I've got the Zalex start run system hooked up to it. We're gonna fire it up here. Not fire it up, but we're gonna turn it over and check for oil pressure. Do a compression test, and maybe fire it up here before we're done. So let's get started. Let me readjust the camera a little bit. We'll see what we got. Okay, I've got the plugs out of it. I took the plugs out. It's got oil in it. Let me plug everything up here. I've got a battery over here to the side that I'm hooking up right now. Okay. On this box right here, I'm hoping that's focusing. Yeah, the red light you see on top is the oil light. It should go off when we have oil pressure. Kick your leg there, sorry. All right. All right. Little light went off. Means we got oil pressure. Earlier today, I hooked up an oil pressure gauge to it, off camera, and it's got about 35 pounds of oil pressure, so that's good. Okay, let's get started on the compression test. Unhook that for a second. When you do a compression test, you gotta have the throttle open on it. I'm just going to stick a screwdriver down in here to hold that open. I've already got the hose in number one there. Alright. Gotta turn the power back on. That's showing about 80 pounds compression on the first cylinder, number one cylinder. That's not real good. Alright. You write that down. 80. It's not as good as I was hoping for anyway. Let's see. Flashlight. There we go. That's showing about 70. I'm gonna check out number one again. I think I may have read that wrong. Yeah, that's showing 60, not 80. $70 on number 2. That's not good at all. And the cylinders may be dry in it. Probably ought to put a little oil in there. Let me do that real quick. This old motor's been sitting about a couple of months, I guess. That ain't working. Always something. Yeah, let's just shoot some WD-40 in there. Be better than nothing. Turn it over a few times, a little oil in it. Let's hook it back up. See what we get. Try again. Well, she climbed up a little. That is showing 80 on number one. What's going on with that? Oh man. Everything goes wrong, you're trying to make a video. Come on, baby, start. There it is. The power back up. That one's showing about 89. We'll call it 89. Moving on to number 3. Number 3. Well, they're showing about 89, 88. We'll call it 89. All right, number 4. Turn the power on. That one's showing about 70. Let me check that one again. I'm not real sure that hole's got in there tight. Hearing a different noise that time. Okay. Getting 70 on number 4. So I've got 90 on 1, 89 on 2, 89 on 3, and 70 on 4. I was expecting higher numbers, but those will probably come up after it runs and gets oil pressure built up in there. I hope. We might check it again later after it's run a little bit. Alright, turn you off for a minute and we'll fast forward through all this, putting the plugs and stuff back in. Well, I think this old starter, came off my bus when I bought it. I think it may be dragging a little bit. I'm going to grab another starter and put on it and see if that doesn't make it turn over better. It seemed like it was dragging a little bit there just from running the compression tester. So let me grab that other starter and we'll put it on there and see if it don't change things. Alright guys, a little bit of camera magic here. What just took me about an hour and a half only took a couple seconds for you guys. Pulled this starter off of Helen, my Baja, and was going to hook it up. Got to looking, and the starter that's on there, I forgot to put the nut on the bottom of the starter. So she was binding up. That's the reason it was making all that racket a little while ago. So what we're going to do here, my compression was a little low, I know, but I'm going to start it and let it run for a little bit, then we'll check the compression again. I think it'll come up. after she's been running a little bit. So without further ado, let's see if this thing will fire. I gotta hook some stuff up here. Fuel pump. Okay, we got fire. Fuel pump's pumping. I've got a fire extinguisher off to the side just in case things don't go right. Put her on run. Hit the fire button. Come on, baby. She's trying. going. That was a success. Running. Need to stick the carbs on it. Let's see what we got for safety. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here, I've got this Snell synchronizer. The carbs on the right are at about 5. These over here are about 4. So I need to pick the idle up on this one on the left to match that one. I'm going to have to adjust the linkage a little bit to get it to come up more. And I gotta open the door, let the feed out. All right, well, it runs. It's got a little hesitation in it. I think them carburetors need to be gone through and cleaned and maybe adjusted a little bit. But it does run. The little Zalex start kit works great. Yeah, I'll call it a success for right now. Probably going to wrap this video up, and I'll come back on the next one, and we'll go tear into them carburetors and see what we can find out. Maybe get her to run a little bit better. I think it maybe jetted wrong. I don't know. I just bought this engine, and you know, it ran when I bought it. It didn't run great. I knew it needed a tune-up. I don't know what size jets it's got in it, and it could be a number of things. But I know she's got a little hesitation there. I'm sure y'all heard that. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Getting kind of late here tonight, and go ahead and get something out there for y'all to look at. And next time we come down here, we'll tear into them carburetors and see if we can fix that. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I appreciate it. If y'all like what you see, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'm hoping to build this channel up eventually. I know I got to get a lot more videos out there for you guys, but you know, help me out if you can. And thanks for watching. Okay guys, this right here is a synchronometer, something like that. You can order these from your parts supplier, CB Performance, Apple Tree, all of them have got them. And what this does is it plugs into the top of your carburetor, into the barrel, and then the little red line comes up and shows how much flow that you got coming through your carburetor. And what you want to do when you sync your carburetor is you stick this in there and see how much flow you've got coming out of one side, and you switch it over to the other side and see how much flow you got coming out of that, and then you equalize it by adjusting your throttle. And once you get both of them in the same realm, whether it be a 4, 5, or 7, and you know both the carburetors are synced together, and then you can adjust your idle air screw to true the carburetor in. But that's what this little device does. They're fairly inexpensive. I can't remember what I gave for it, 25, 30 bucks, something like that. But it's indispensable if you're running dual carbs on a motor. And they're not just for Volkswagen motors. Any motor you got that has more than one carburetor on it, whether it be a motorcycle or whatever, this tool right here will work. It's a good tool, and if you're running an engine with more than one carburetor, you got to have one. All right, I'm gonna call this after hours. Talk a little bit about what we just did. This old motor right here, I bought it a couple months ago from a guy, and it was in a van when I bought it. I heard it run, and I drove it, and I could tell it had some carburetor issues when I bought it, but the motor seemed strong. We just done a compression test on it, and the numbers were kind of low. I'm going to test that again after it's ran, and we'll see if that number comes up. I think it will. I think it's just because it's set for a while. I hope it does, because compression, anything under 100 is kind of iffy, so it should be over 100. These carburetors on this motor are they're impies, Chinese junk, you know, my opinion. But We're gonna try to make the best out of them. I've watched some other videos of some guys that have worked on them and kind of worked the bugs out of them. So we're gonna mess around with them a little bit, see if we can get them to work. Hope we can. I got a buddy. He's got a couple of baby Delordos. I think they're 40 pick, and he keeps telling me he's got them, and I can't get him to give me a price on them. So you know how that goes. Anyway, but what we got these right now. The motor sounded good. I mean, you know, kind of concerned about that compression, but we'll do another check on that and find out what's going on with that. The little Zalex starter kit, whatever you call it, works really good. I feel like a jackass because I forgot to put a nut on the bottom of the starter, and I spent an hour and a half pulling the starter off of Helen, my Baja, and but anyway, you'll have that, I guess, right? So just kind of want to do a little follow up. This is after hours. It's time for a cold beer. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye.